Hey, this is Paul Payton with Focal Splash, and one of the things I like about Photoshop is sometimes you can take a cell phone picture of the dogs in the back seat of the car, do something Easter with it, and that's what I'm going to do today. So let's get started. Alright, so what we're going to do first is going to make a selection of these little doggies here, and we're going to use the quick select tool. And let's go into select and mask and see what we got. So they're on black. Use the R for the refine edge tool and see what we can get here. We'll see how that looks when we get them in the grass. And what we're going to do is go back to W for the quick select tool. So I'm hitting X to view what's going on in the background and then what we have selected. I don't want this to take so long. Every time I do an edit for you guys, you have to watch me do the cutout. There's what we have selected. We're going to put them on a new layer with a layer mask and hit OK. And there they are, the sweeties. Then we have this grass back here. So let's just see what happens when we put them on this grass. I think the grass is going to be a lot bigger than you expect. Oh no, great. So the picture is quite a bit larger. Alright, so is that looking, do they look like they're the right size for the grass? I'm going to say close enough. I'm going to say yes. They could be the right size for the grass. Now, this was taken with a slightly wider angle lens on a maybe on a cell phone, and this dog is not this big, but he was closer to the camera, or she, sorry, and you know, this one, that one was just a little further back from the camera. So what we can do is I'm going to go ahead and with the lasso tool, I'm going to lasso this little guy and hit Control J and put him up on his own layer. I'm going to take the layer mask right here, holding the Alt key, and just copy it to that layer like that. Same thing on back on this layer. Do the same thing, Control J, and then copy the layer mask, Alt, just like that. That's fine. I have all three dogs on their own layer now. And so now I can Control T, make a little bigger. Wait a minute, I held the Shift key down so it doesn't change the shape. And what I need to do is on this layer, hit enter there, on this layer I need to remove the dogs. So what I'm going to do is with the lasso tool again, select both of these dogs, and then the background color is black. So if I hit Control and then delete, it will fill in this section right here with that background color, and that will remove them from the layer mask. So they're gone. Now Control D. I have to get rid of that selection first. Now Control T, make her a little bigger. See, I am holding the Shift key, and Photoshop does not care. So I'm holding the Shift key again. Let's hit Control T, holding the Shift key, and now she's not being misadjusted. I'm gonna make them all fit here a little nicer, and then I'm going to move them all together, shrink them all. I think. Hit enter on that. You have to hit enter when after you hit and transform. Control T, and just move them up like that. I think their sizes are a little more, hit enter, I think their sizes are a little bit more attuned to actual size, something like that. Alright, So then I'm going to select them all, put them in a group, right, double click here and call it dogs. Don't tell them I called them that. And hit Control T on all of them. And then Shift. How about I do that? Alright. So I just want to move her out a little bit. And I'll show you why in a moment. So now I'm going to grab a bunny. Alright. Hit the V key for move, because V means move. I don't know why. Bunny's big too. I'm going to shift and make the bunny smaller. And shift. What are we going to do now? Well, I think it's time to adjust colors. So let's start with the bunny since it's already selected. Go to Image, Adjustments, Color Match. There's a lot of other ways to do this. I drop it to 50, go to the document that we're on, and the layer we're going to match it to is the background layer. And now the bunny is green. So we don't really want the bunny to green, so 75% of the color surrounding looks good. Alright, so let's do that with the doggy here. Control Z, just want you to see what's happening. Change the color to that. Now if the dog was in a different background, that would look really green. But in this background, it matches better. So that's what the doggy was, and that's what it is now. And the same thing with this one. Uh-oh, same thing with this one. Image, Adjustments, Color Match. Let's just bump to 75 since I'm probably going to end up there anyway. This is the document, and this is the background layer we're matching them to. And that looks pretty good. So, okay. I've got an action that I run. It's called Create Test Group. If you ask me for it, I can give you a link to it. Just run this. The main thing I'm doing with it lately is checking white and black points. So what you want to do is above each of the doggies, well, if the doggies are all about the same, so let's take the rabbit out of the dogs, and above the doggy one, we'll make a curves adjustment, and then go back up to here, we'll turn this on, and this is called a threshold layer, and now you're looking at it going, that's really weird, why would you do that? Well, because you can go all the way down to 1, and if you look, there's something here that is black in the image. I think that's the bunny's eye. Right? And it is. But we're not so worried about the bunny right now. Let's look at the rest of the background. So the things that are dark in the background start popping out right about now. You know, so we're talking about 30, which is pretty amazing, pretty high up there. So the background starts with a little bit of black right down here at about 19. Okay. And then our friends, you can go like this to see where they are. Our friends don't really start showing up until 40. Wow. So that's 20 points. All right. So we have the number, the 20 points number. And we're going to go down here and go to curves and bring the black point for the dogs up by 20 points. Just like that. We're going to make it to the dogs by hitting this clipping mask thing. So this is just going to clip it. Once I take it out of the group, it's just going to clip it to the dog group. Okay. Clip, clip, clip. Now, normally it would clip right to the dogs group, but I have something wrong with my computer. There we go. We could clip that, but we can't clip this. Okay, so that's very nice. I can't clip the curves. Nice. So, well, I can clip to that one. Let's see. Let's see if it's just this doggy. Okay. Something wrong with that doggy. How much is that doggy in the window? And yikes. Yeah, something really odd happened there. I'm not sure what it is, so I'm just going to ignore it and pretend it doesn't. So we're going to clip it right to the dogs and set it to 20. And we're going to know that it's correct. How do we know that? Well, because thresholds told us so. So then we're going to go to the whites and see what appears first in the whites. So the sky is kind of blown. It's not really blown. It looks fine, but the sky starts to appear, and the dogs start to appear, and the grass starts to appear. So whites appears to be fine. So let's just turn this off and see what we got. Do the dogs, other than they're not in the grass yet, but do their colors and darkness and lightness and exposure, do they look like they fit in the picture? And to me, yes, they look like they fit. Now let's look at the rabbit real quick. Put a curves adjustment layer above the rabbit just in case we need it. And we'll go to this here, and we're just focusing on the rabbit. And there's the rabbits now coming in. The rabbit has some white, so the rabbit is not coming in fast enough. So this is when white starts coming in. We're at about 42, and the rabbit's first white is really at about 25. So that's 15 points. We'll just call it right now. So the rabbit, when we clip this to the rabbit, we should bring this to 40, which is 15 points lower than 255. So 240. We'll say that'll work for now. And we'll go back to this. And we should see that the rabbit's color comes in right about the same time, or just a hair after everything else, which is fine. A hair. I didn't do that on purpose. Now darkness, the rabbit comes in first, so he's a little dark. So now the rabbit, and then the dogs and the grass. So the dogs and the grass start coming in there at 28, and the rabbit starts coming in immediately. So let's take the rabbit's darkness. Okay, the Alt key is still on. Now let's take the rabbit's darkness up by 10. Alright, so that looks good. The rabbit's eye is not showing right now, and we're taking it off, and we zoom in a little bit. And does the rabbit look like the color and the contrast the same as the dogs? They're all together now. They all pretty much look like they could have been in the same picture taken. Now we still have the issue with they look like they're floating. So the beautiful thing is this is grass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off all the layers except for the grass. I can do that easily by holding Alt and clicking on the eye, and they all temporarily go off. Then I'm going to Alt here and put them back. Just want to look at where they are. And then I'm going to take a quick select tool and just select right across here. And that's not right. Control Z. Select the background group when you do this. Control D. Make sure there's nothing selected. Take the quick select tool and just select all this grass right here. Alright. All this grass. Right about where the dogs are. Alright. Then go into select and mask, just like that. I'm going to use R. what we're going to do is use refine edge to make a layer here that is semi-transparent, but not just transparent, but actually has texture in it also. And my brush seems like it's way too hard, right? Hardness at 100. Let's turn hardness. Looks better. All right. And let's just do this. Give it a little more above. See what it's doing? It's finding the edges of the grass and painting some in. All right, so that's a really good start, I think. Let's just give it a little more just in case. All right, and then we're going to create that on a new layer. We're going to turn the other layer back on, and we're going to move this above and move this layer up above everything and drop it, and then turn everything back on. Dogs, like that. Alright, so they're hidden partially, and they shouldn't be hidden that much. That's just the way that goes. We're going to click on the layer mask and we're going to paint with black. And then below the dogs, we're going to paint with white at about 50%. And we're just going to pretend like the grass is real thick. And then X at about 20%. That doesn't look that believable over there. X, this doesn't look so believable right here. All right, so what we have is we have a need for a little bit of shadow. So we're going to put some shadow by painting with black at 50% on a new layer, and we're going to make this layer overlay. Let's see how that works. You know, it's just going to be a little dark. We're going to change the opacity of this and just cover up some of that. Make it 20% and paint up here on her. Alright, so there's a little bit of that. We'll lower the opacity. So there's a little bit of shadow there. Let's change to normal and see what we get. I'm not really fond of that. Let's change to screen. Of course, that's not the right one. Soft light. And maybe we can use soft light at a higher opacity. Something like that. Alright. So now they're sitting in there with the bunny. Alright, so I kind of like it. I'm going to crop it at a 4:6, I think. Not that, 4:6. And then you have to hit this. Alright, we're going to put them like so in the image there. Alright, enter. So what I want to do is create a new layer by hitting Command, Alt, Shift, and E, all 4 of those. And then I want to hit Command A, which will make a selection of the whole thing, and Command J. That'll make a copy of just what's selected. So all the outside edges are gone from this inside selection. All right, we need to do that. So when we go into Camera Raw, it will only show what we want selected and not the outside edges. If not, it would have shown that. So as shot, let's go to auto. It made it more blue, maybe not so much blue. I do like that it took a lot of the green out, so let's leave it like that. It's still warmer. And then auto, and it was about as bright as it could get. Let's bring down the daylight there, pump up the vibrance, and Let's go into dehaze under effects. Yep, give them a little more contrast there. And then bring down the vignette a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a focus on the center of the picture. See, roundness is something I don't normally play with, but since this little guy's close to the edge, you can pull it back from them like that, feather it, bring it back in, give it a little bit more, and something like that. Now what I normally do is I walk away from the image and I come back and I take a look and I fix some things. Maybe I'll play with this a little bit, play with this a little bit, the shadow. I might add some more color somewhere. So there's some things that I would do to finish up the image, but this is basically how I would make the image. So I didn't want to make the video any longer. So if you liked it, well, like it. If you would like to subscribe and get more videos like this, just showing the steps it takes to create a composite. I think I'm going to put some Easter eggs somewhere in here too. Wouldn't that be great? So to finish up the image, I'll do that, but I won't keep you around any longer. Comment, please. Just comment wherever you see this video. Just throw a comment, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you see that. Just say this was a stupid video. All right. Say whatever you want. I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a good day.